Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. It's been 2 months. I know, I am really shit with uploading, but today we are going to be doing something which I've been wanting to do for a while. As you see from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be going through and recreating some YouTubers' thumbnails. Obviously, I could imagine you guys probably wondering who we're going to recreate. Well, we're going to be doing James Marriot's thumbnail. We got a general reaction thumbnail, and we have a thumbnail from a YouTuber called Roly Roly West. Basically, these three thumbnails have quite a bit of different styles and aesthetics to them. You know, if you watch a James Marriot video, or actually even if I haven't, I've probably already shown him on the screen, but if you've watched a James Marriot video, you know that his thumbnails are pretty bright and colourful and like hard hitting. And then we got a reaction thumbnail, which is pretty basic and simple to do. Maybe you could do it in like half an hour or so. And then you got the Roly West thumbnail, which is similar to the reaction thumbnail, but like is more sleek. And I'll be trying to recreate myself. Unfortunately, I don't have Photoshop. I have the alternative, which is Affinity Photo, which isn't as good, but it will suffice. It's pretty much the only thing that can compete with Photoshop. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So as you guys can see here, we have 4 things. We have 1 photo and 3 Affinity Photo files. So if we look, we have the backgrounds which we're going to be using. We have a book which we're going to be using because I'm going to be doing something similar to the Trisha Paytas thumbnail, which I did show you. We've got my ugly face, and we've got the person who will pretend is the bad guy in this. So if we open up Affinity, go and we come back to the thumbnail, so we go to recording assets, thumbnail. We want to import this and then copy and paste into here. Obviously it's zoomed in quite a bit because this image, if we look, well actually I don't think will show us here, but this image is 3885 by 2573, which is 4K and a bit more, I think. So we've got to decrease the size, something more like this. Yeah, there we go. We're going to rasterize and trim this just so it's a bit easier to mess around with it. And we'll also be, so I forgot where I was at, but basically here, if we look at the top here, we have Untitled, which is where I put the background. We got the villain face, which is this guy. We got me. What we'll be doing is firstly we'll be going through the background. So yeah, if we pull up James Marriot's thumbnail here, we can see it's very bright in the background. We've got like the whites are very white, the yellows are popping, the red oranges are popping as well. We need to aim for that, but with this, which sadly it is a lot blander because it's just wood and these books, so I can't get, you know, as colourful. But firstly we will begin with some brightness and contrast. We'll up the brightness, get those whites popping and the greys and that, all this, and then let's test out a Hsl adjustment. Okay, so we see that this changes up all the colours. You know what, for now what we'll do, we'll up the saturation here, we'll put this here, and purple and actually no, not purple and green. Let's do something like this. Yeah, I will disable it because for now it doesn't look very good. So we'll come back to it and see if it looks any better, if we can make it look any better. We also want to add a vibrance adjustment, which is, it just adds more depth to the colours. It's a little bit like saturation, but it's much more easier handled. And obviously, as we can see here, colours are now beginning to pop. We can also do a thing called colour balance, which, you know, just increases this. So we'll increase the reds, minus 16% green, and we'll get a lot more yellow. We'll also preserve the luminosity of the image. And then we'll try Hsl one more time. Okay, so I actually quite like it like this. Yeah, so Hsl isn't going to work for us. That's perfectly fine. We obviously have the image here. It's nice and bright now. You've got, you know, like the wood is now nice and vibrant. And now what we'll do is we'll go here and I'll hold left shift to get them all, Control G to group them, or rasterize one more time. So this is the finished background, and then we're going to go down here to this little thing that says FX, and we'll go to Gaussian blur, click it, and we'll bring it up. Obviously you can see here it's got a bit messy here because I haven't pressed preserve alpha. If I do that, there we go. So now the image is just blurred a lot. You know, it's nice and bright. And if we look at that, you see, if we look at James's thumbnail and that, they both, obviously they don't look the exact same because this is different, and this is different, but they're both nice and bright in the background. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy. I've already cut him out. I've done a bad job with the beard, so actually, you know, a little time lapse. I'm going to polish up the beard or get rid of it. So this is going to be a guy. It's going to be the villain guy who's going to be in this thumbnail. I already cut him out. If we see here, I've just got the background with him just so it looks a bit more atmospheric, you know, for you guys. So what we'll do is we'll copy him and paste him in. Obviously, again, image is a lot bigger than this canvas, so we'll bring it in like this. And obviously, because we are recreating this, we'll have to flip this image. So go transform, flip horizontal, and we can bring him into here. Now this bit here might seem like an issue, but we'll get my shitty cropping of myself, bring that in again, make this a lot smaller, bring him in like that. See, as you can see, I've covered him up, but actually what we're going to do is we're going to shrink him. Then what we do is we go to the book. As we can see, we'll have to bring this in here, bring it below my face. This is the basic thumbnail done. Then yeah, this is the basic thumbnail done. I'll do some touch-ups and I'll be back.
One eternity later.
Okay, so I've done just tiny little touch-ups, stuff you probably can't see. But now we're gonna get into the basically the fun stuff of the image. So if we have a look at the James Marriot thumbnail, if we look at his face, that's basically what I'll call is he's just gone to sharpen, done this, gone to 100%, clicked OK, and he's gone bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Oh, I actually love James's thumbnails. These are fucking great. I mean, and then the background he probably doesn't want. So now we're going to get to the worst bit, which is basically here the simplest bit which he does, which is his text. So we're going to get a yellow, a good shade of yellow. There we go. Draw it out. And then we'll do in lowercase because he does everything in lowercase. There we go. That's what I can write. Alright, we'll align this to center, and obviously if we look at James's thumbnail, it's a lot smaller and a lot more grouped together. So what we'll do is we'll put that in bold, and then we'll go to FX, outline, black, bring it out, there we go. And then we just put that in the center. There. And there we go. That is clearly the best James Marriot thumbnail we could ever come up with, and there's definitely nothing better at all. Nothing. Okay, so the next thumbnail we're going to be doing is the classic reaction thumbnail. As you can see from the example I just put on screen, that is Zerkaa's thumbnail. Will be something similar to his, obviously not exactly, but it'll be really, really simple. So with this, it's pretty simple. This is the only thing I'm going to use. I'm not going to use a picture of myself because I can't do very good reacting faces, if I'm being honest. So I'm using this picture of this guy, and we'll be getting stuck in pretty much immediately. But first, before we actually go on to this, we need to get something for this guy to be reacting to. So what we're going to do, we're going to go onto Twitter. We're going to get a very quick little thing. We are going to screenshot this. As we can see here, we've now brought it back into our photo editing software, and we need to polish it up a little bit, I think. So we're going to go, if I can get a good reference point, so it'll probably be one of these. About here, we'll go down and we'll crop it there. Go to mask, then we're going to rasterize and trim this. So that is now our bit which our guy's going to be reacting to. Obviously it doesn't fit the screen entirely, so what we're going to do is enlarge it just enough. We're going to make a new pixel layer. A pixel layer is just basically a blank layer which you can do anything on, and we're going to use the flood fill tool to make it red. Classic thumbnail material, and then we will bring in our main guy. There's a basically I'm just gonna do it like that. Have two of them there. You know, two of them reacting to better. So if we go to look at this thumbnail here, we can see we have Josh and Toby here. But we're not really looking at their faces. We're not really altering the faces. We're not really copying anything, doing any more touch up. I know these bits around here are looking pretty bad. This is the best Affinity could do without me having to spend like fucking years trying to, you know, crop out every nook and cranny. Which I know I probably should have done, but for now, just because this is a piss take, we're not being serious with this. This is just a piss take. It'll just be like that for now. But obviously, if we look at Josh and Toby, we can see here there's shadows around each of them. This is pretty simple to replicate. We just go back into our FX tab. FX tab. We go to outer shadow, we go to that, and then we just bring out the radius. If you look at where the main Twitter bit is, there is some shadows you can see, but we don't want any on this side, so we're going to offset this. So we're actually going to change the angle of the shadow to be fully this way, 135 degrees that way. So now there's very little on this side. This will be replicated with this guy, and that is basically the really basic reaction thumbnail. We could add another shadow to this. If we go here, we just add another shadow. We'll increase the radius, we'll make the opacity a bit higher, and we'll make the intensity a lot higher, just for a little bit more depth. And I think if we look at Josh's thumbnail, if we look at Josh's thumbnail, he's done some branding to make it his own. That is pretty similar to Josh's thumbnail. Again, these are piss takes. So now we're going to go on to the final thumbnail. So everyone, for the final thumbnail, as I said, we're going to be doing a Roly West thumbnail. I cannot say his name for the life of me. Why is his name Roly West? That is so impossible to say. So we'll be doing a Roly West thumbnail, and as we can see here, it's pretty simplistic if we look. Obviously, it might look a bit complex because of this guy's ear piercings. Roly West is actually an ear piercing channel. There's a lot of reaction. We'll be redoing this kind of thumbnail. I think he's going to be the simplest of all of them. I mean, and I did show you just the simple reaction thumbnail, which was me just plopping two things in, adding some shadow and being done. But in terms of actually doing a thumbnail, this might be the simplest. So if we look, white background, then a backdrop, and then characters' faces and text. This should be pretty simple, so we'll just do this. We'll get the fill bucket tool, white, and now we've got a white background. Simple as that. We're going to get our background, which I forgot to import. So this will be our background. We'll import this into here. So as we can see here, we've got the backdrop. And what we'll do here is we'll hold left control and one of the corners to drag it in like this. As we can see, it's in. I think I've done a bit too much. Yeah, I've done a bit too much. A bit too much compared to Roly's. So it looks like, to get the best result, there we go. That's the closest which we're going to get to his thumbnail. If we take another peek, our two characters' faces are pretty zoomed in. So if we get this woman, we're going to flip her horizontally. Then we're going to import myself. Obviously now this is pretty much done. What we're going to do now is I'm going to put back in, another time lapse, another nice little time lapse of me just touching this up. So yeah, guys, I've done the touch-ups. Now we're going to be doing the final bits to his thumbnail. If we go back to his thumbnail, we can see he's got font which looks like he got it off a website, like one of those word art websites. It kind of looks like that. I'm not gonna lie, But what we'll do is actually first we need to do some outlines. As we can see here, he's got a pink glow for his eyes and his shirt. So I must say, I actually like his contacts. His contacts are fucking awesome. But we need to get a pinkish glow for me. So let's quickly go to FX. We'll go to outer glow because that's what he's using. We'll also change this to pink. Drag it out a bit. There. We got ourselves a glow. Pretty simple stuff, you know. His is a lot more refined and smaller. Mine's just more opaque. Okay, so now we're going to be looking for a font similar to what he's got. As we can see here, he's got a very it's got like a font which kind of resembles like fonts which have the title of Iron on them. So we're going to be looking for fonts like that. You know, armor piercing, that's definitely not it. Army wide, no. Army thin. We're going to be looking for some artistic ones. Okay, I think I found something which is pretty okay. This font is called Hey, yeah, this font. We'll be using this. So if we look back at the thumbnail, I think this was one of his rejecting ear piercing videos. So obviously this ain't like that. We got a sad me and a happy hurt. I've got the you know what? Despite the fact this ain't very similar now I think of it, I'm still using it because I am the rejection king. So we'll have this. It looks like he's got a gradient on, so we can actually go back to FX here, do a gradient overlay. If we have a look, which way is it going? This way. So light is up, dark is down. And we've got bright yellow at the top. So, no wait, yep, so bright yellow up here. And we've got a more orangey colour down here. So obviously, my one's a bit more potent than his. I think actually if I go to opacity, there we go, 68, that looks a lot better, a lot more similar to his. But we haven't finished yet. We've got a couple more things. We've got the 14, just because I am a very unfunny person, let's put this as 17 because I am 17 and lonely. So we got 17, put this in the corner, 17 there, and then we got to copy and paste this one more time. So we'll do Control J and we'll put add, and before we finish that we'll just take off the gradient overlay, and because I'm lazy, color overlay and white. There we go. Okay, so there you have it, guys. I finished the 3 thumbnails. Again, I'm not the best person at Photoshop. I have taken some time off actually editing things, so it's actually quite hard for me right now to actually get good cutouts and everything. So, I mean, if you like the video, please like, subscribe to my channel. Comment if you want me to do another one of these, but with some other YouTubers. You know, there's Rory and a few others, but you know, whoever you want me to see redo, I could try. And yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Peace.